All right, how's it going, pre-cal students? We got having some questions about reducing or simplifying sometimes when we got a square root of a fraction. So let's say we run into something like this. We're taking the square root of 1/2. Okay, when we're taking the square root of a fraction, we can simplify that by taking the square root of the numerator over the square root of the denominator. Make sure you do the square root of both. Okay, from there, we can go ahead and then simplify. So square root of 1 is just 1. Okay, but the square root of 2, that's an irrational number, so we'll leave it as the square root of 2 because we want this to be an exact answer. Okay, we cannot have a square root in the denominator, so what we do is we rationalize. So we'll multiply by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2, just like that. And that'll lead us to our final answer here. That'll be 1 times the square root of 2, which is the square root of 2, over square root of 2 times square root of 2 is positive 2. Now, when you've taken the square root of both sides of an equation, this would end up being plus or minus. And so that would be our simplified version. And that is a value on our unit circle, so that's a good thing. We want it to look like our values on the unit circle. Okay, another one you might run into, another kind of example, is this one, square root of 3/4. So again, I'll do the same process as above, square root 3 over square root 4. We can simplify a little bit. Square root 3 is just a square root of 3. It's not a perfect square, so we can't really simplify more than that. But then the bottom here, square root of 4, 4 is a perfect square, so the square root of 4 is just 2. And again, probably took the square root of both sides of an equation, so I'd have to do plus or minus. Okay, so make sure you watch out for that kind of thing. And square root 3 over 2, hey, that just happens to be one of our values on the unit circle as well. So maybe you run into something like this, like you divided both sides by the square root of 3. So make sure that you are simplifying, or actually make sure that you are you do not have an irrational number on the denominator, so we need to rationalize. So we'll multiply by square root 3 over square root 3. So that's 1 times root 3 is root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is going to be just the regular old 3. Okay, and in that case, if I'm not taking the square root of both the top and the bottom, it would just stay as this. Okay, and then we'd be good to go. All right, that's simplifying our square roots of fractions.